All right. We're back.
We're back, episode 2.
And it's officially the second day of 2025.
Yep.
That's
January
crazy
2nd.
to say. Day 2, and we're here kicking off the new year, 2025 here. And we're going to get into the talking of little habits, actions, topics that we implemented in our year in 2024 to make 2024 how incredible it was, and the stuff that we did to help us make 2024 so good, and what basically you can do to make sure 2025 is the best year you
For
can,
you.
and it's better than 2024.
Yeah.
Because we're growing, we're improving, and we're going to chase after an even better year this year.
Absolutely. I agree with all of what you just said.
One thing, people really wait to start bettering themselves. They wait until like January 1st or a certain event or a certain time to write down these goals more so. And just how we came into like the last podcast saying how time is ticking very fast and time is super limited. So there is no reason to be waiting for this certain time. Like, as you're watching this podcast, we can start changing up our lives and implementing things.
Exactly. The new year is not going to get better if you don't change the little habits in your life. And also, you shouldn't wait for a new year to start doing new things. You should start as soon as possible. If you could yesterday, or
as soon as like
last
right now.
year.
We'll start right this moment.
Exactly.
Right
Start
this second.
now. There's no reason to wait, and if you don't do it, there's no way you can succeed, so why not try?
Exactly. And there's also no perfect time. And we were saying how there was no perfect time even for this podcast. Like, we could have waited this out and not done this podcast for like a few more months.
Yeah.
More so. Or everything in life, like, there is no perfect time. It's just you have to jump. And you just have to go for it. Like, you could be standing at that cliff and you're so scared to jump. You're so scared to go forward. You just have to, like, get pushed. You have to go and just take the steps forward, and you're not necessarily not going to ever be ready. But as you're in that process, you're going to become ready.
Yeah.
And you're just getting better and improving day by day. And it's, like, the same way with this podcast, and we're just going to see the way, like, it improves episode after episode.
Yeah.
So I'm just excited to see how, like, everything is just, like, going to improve over time.
Exactly. You guys are probably going to notice, like, a few changes here and there, because we're still learning. We've never had a podcast
we're
before.
From zero.
Yeah, we're doing this from the start, so, like, we don't know what's right, what's wrong, what's going to work, what's not going to work. Everything about success is, like, no one really knows when it's going to be successful. All you can do is just show up. You put something, you pick a crazy idea of something that you want to do, and then you try it. And if it works, it does. If it doesn't, it doesn't. And that's okay. Just the secret to success, there's really no secret other than doing it.
And showing up.
Yeah. Trying.
It's just every single day. It's just constantly showing up, and it's not like a one-day thing, or there's no perfect timing. You're not going to be perfect in anything you do. It's just going to be over time, consistency, patience, and it is going to be, like, repetitive. Like, it's just constantly doing the same stuff every single day, and eventually it's going to come to you. It's going to happen to you, but you just have to show up, and it's not going to be perfect. Like, if you think just straight off the bat, like, we were coming in here the first episode, like, or anything in life, not just to do with this, like, you're not going to be perfect the first day, the first time. You're going to have a lot of failures, but those failures, they set you up for success.
Absolutely.
And you learn from them. You learn from a lot of things. Like, we learned from a lot of things, even from doing the first podcast, like, moving forward.
Yeah.
So, more so, a little bit of getting into 2025, but we want to list some of our more so topics and how we could say strategies.
List of strategies, our plan.
Or, like, yeah.
Our kind of our structure.
Our structure, yes.
Our structure for what we have.
What we had going for 2024 but how we want it for you.
Yeah, for 2025.
2025. Number 1, straight off the bat, is eliminating all distractions.
Yes. Eliminating the distractions. This is something that I struggle with still. I'm not by any
We
means,
love
I am
real
not
Tata.
perfect, okay?
We love when Tata talks real, saying that she struggles with something, because you guys, we struggle just like you. We're not perfect.
We're not
in any way.
perfect at all. And there's a lot of things that I need to change in my life to be better. I am a victim to the distractions.
What's a distraction, for example, for you?
I would say scrolling and sleeping. Sleeping is a distraction, because I don't go to sleep on time.
Tata's a late night queen.
I stay up so late, and then I wake up early or I wake up late.
Yeah.
So.
And you just stay up.
Yeah.
And then you, like, your sleep schedule's messed up?
Yeah, my sleep schedule is so messed up.
I'm quite the opposite.
Like, I think I went to bed yesterday at like 2 or 3 in the morning.
And when I told Tata, I was like, let's go to the podcast 9 a.m., she's like,
I will.
Why 9 a.m.? Why can't it be like 12 p.m.?
No, me being like, you know what? Yes, it's a new year. I'm going to do it. 9 a.m. is perfect. We're going to start the year off fresh, waking up early. You see me waking up early.
We're on day 2 of 2025.
Yeah.
We're gonna habit we're gonna build for Tata is getting that good sleep schedule rolling, waking up early consistently.
Yeah.
But more so, number 1, as in being cut out a lot of distractions. I feel like every person doesn't have the same distraction or the same problem, something that's setting them back. Like, I don't have that sort of distraction. Everybody has a different sort of thing. It could be with friendships. It could be with doom scrolling. It could be with going out. It could be with drinking. It could be doing, like, abusing substances. A lot of things, everybody struggles with different distractions, and different things can set them back. But you have to figure out, what is your distraction? More so, what is setting you back? What's taking advantage, not taking advantage, I would say, like, taking your time that you could be doing instead of sleeping, or instead of going out, instead of doom scrolling, you could be doing something else. And that take your time very wisely, because those, like, time goes by super fast again. And we don't realize, like, especially if you're doom scrolling, 2 hours can go by fast. Like, I feel like for me, like, if I'm scrolling, like,
it does go by fast. Like, I would say that I don't have many regrets in life, but one of my regrets is not like it's not like a one-time thing. It's like my daily thing, where it's like, if I don't wake up earlier and start my day earlier and do more things that complete my day and make me feel like I did something productive, I feel like a failure to myself.
If you want,
like, I regret it. Yeah. And I'm like, oh, I could have done this. I could have done that. I should have woken up earlier. Or I should have done this instead of that. And I keep that in my head. So to me, I just don't want to keep having these little regrets, like daily regrets. And so habits I have to fix. Those are habits I have to fix. That is
another huge distraction. If you didn't get that there, like, self-doubt is a huge distraction and a huge limiting factor. As in, like, self-doubt, in your head, self-doubt delays you to take the action. Like, in your head, if you're doubting yourself, like, you could have done X, Y, and Z by last week, or like the month before, you could have started earlier, but the self-doubt in your head is, like, stretching out that time and extending you to start. So, like, self-doubt is a huge distraction. It's not just going out, partying, drinking, doing those certain fun things. It's, like, within yourself. Self-doubt could be a huge distraction.
Negative self-talk, that words you speak are the house you live in. Yes, and that is something that I stand by. You can't, as much, like, you're going to be your worst critic. You're going to be the worst person to yourself. You are the worst to yourself. And I think that this year I want to try and be more positive towards myself. I actually have changed a lot since, like, 2020. Like, 2020 was, like, a year for me where it was, like, negative,
on
like,
yourself.
Very negative. I didn't have, like, positive thoughts outside, and I think that the more positive that I spoke within myself with, like, at least in 2024, that was like the biggest change for me. I think the more I spoke good and positive and outpoured positive, the more positive that came back. So I think being positive and kind to yourself as well is a huge thing. It's going to bring back a lot of good stuff. I love that Tata
says that, because that's something like 2023, I was super negative with the things that were going on in my life, and it was just constant negativity in my life. Like, but then coming 2024 is when I spoke more positivity, like, and believing more positive, like more positive things were going to come into my life, and it did. Like, you truly have to believe and speak into it, like, every day. Like, wake up with that positive mindset, believe it deep down in your heart and your soul. That's like one thing that I like really agree with, like positive talk, and that's something I used to struggle still to this day. Like, negative
you'll
self-talk
catch yourself
and
doing
being like your biggest critic is something that I do struggle with. Like, like not one thing is like never being good enough constantly with anything you do, and that's self-doubt, and that's a distraction. Because I get in my head.
It's basically like a little stump in the road that's going to slow you down and stop you. It can even completely stop you.
Exactly.
It's going to slow you down or completely stop you from reaching the goals that you want to reach. And so that's why you got to cut it out.
Don't
cut it
let
out.
that little voice in the back of your head stop you.
The best of you, yeah.
Because you're meant for, like, you could go all in, but that little voice in your head that's telling you, like, that you're going to fail, that you're going to quit, that you're going to lose this friend, that you're going to miss out, like, on so much things. Don't listen to that little voice.
Yeah.
That is the distraction in your head, and it could be your friends, which is another huge thing. Your environment really matters, and it really depends. Like, those friendships, they could be huge distractions. And this is a question I want to ask you, and I really want you to listen to, especially coming into 2025. And I asked myself this, and I asked myself this in 2024. If somebody were to come up to you and say that you were alike or similar to one of your friends, would you be proud of that, or would you be ashamed? If someone were to, like, any friend, like your best friend, if someone were to, like, oh,
like, compare you to them,
you're like, oh, you're just like Tata. Like, you reminded me of Tata. Would you be like,
is that a good thing or a bad thing?
I'm not like Tata at all. Or would you be like, oh my gosh, really?
Thank you.
Yeah, that means so much to me.
Is it a compliment or is it an offense to it? Yeah.
Because that really, like, think about that. Why are you offended? If someone were to compare me to Tata or say, like, a certain action I did, and they were like, oh, you reminded me of Tata, I'd be like, really?
Yeah.
Because Tata has amazing qualities, like, that I love. And she has amazing qualities that, like, I sometimes wish that I could have. Like, she is the positive person. And she always, like, I see her with the biggest smile. And if someone were to tell me, like, if I'm being super positive and I was reminded of Tata, I would feel super good about that. I wouldn't get offended in any sort of way.
If someone compared me to Melania, let me tell you how I would be on freaking cloud 9 for the rest of my day, because Melania is, like, one of the most determined and hardworking people I know. She literally does not stop. This girl grinds, and is so on top of everything. At least from my perspective, like, I don't know, because if she told me right now, like, oh, I have, like, this problem, I would not believe her, because it just doesn't seem like she really just, like, is so hardworking and so focused. And, like, I know that you just, like, strive every day, and, like, everything that you say you really do. Like, that's the thing, is, like, I love that about you. I'm like, oh my god, if I got compared to Melania,
that's what I'm saying.
I would be really
qualities.
Proud.
Thank you, by the way. But we have qualities, like, in each other that we strive to have, and it's like certain things that Tata has that I want to, like, it inspires me.
Yeah.
And certain things that inspires Tata, and it's like those kinds of friendships. One, you're not going to find a lot of people like that, and that's okay.
Yeah.
But those little friendships, those one friend, those two friends that you have, stick close with them and ask yourself, coming into 2025, does this person
align with where I want to be?
With where you want to be, or do like, is it time to start, like, really drifting away from these people and realizing that they don't necessarily belong in my life. Would you be proud, like, if you had a kid, and would you want them to be hanging around with those kinds of friends? Because friends really impact your mindset a lot.
You have to, like, take yourself out of situations and
step
back.
Out of your own shoes.
Yeah, out of your own shoes, and think about it, like, in the way that you just said, where it's like, would I want my own kid to hang out with the person that I hang out with? Or do I want to be perceived the same way that this group or these specific people, do I want to be perceived in that way? Because also the people you walk with are the way that you're going to be perceived a lot of the time. So if your friend is somebody who goes out and only does drugs,
and they have a bad name, a bad reputation, and you're around that person constantly,
it's going to rub off on you, and people are going to look at you and think the same about you, whether or not it's true. You can be a really nice person and completely opposite to the people you're friends with, but from the outside, everyone's going to look at it as if you're 100%. The same as the person with, or the people with the bad reputation. Now, maybe you can influence your friends to go on a nice path.
Maybe we all could do it together. You could all better yourself together. It doesn't just have to be you.
Yeah.
But more so, it's like, again,
everyone has their time too.
Respond to, if you're trying to take better actions in your life, see how they're responding. Are they, like, not supporting you? Or are they, like, all for it for you to better yourself? Like, you could really get to know their mindsets. And if it could just be, like, a full-on, like, power friendship. Like, you guys could better yourself together. Do the whole, like, friend group together. But it's super important. And coming into 2025, it's taking out those distractions, doom scrolling, friendships, self-doubt, your own, like, you could be your own distraction, a lot of things. And, like, number one is your time, and use it wisely. That is one thing. And by using your time wisely, you need to get rid of those distractions that's taking up your time.
I agree with it. All of it.
And more so now, number two is figuring out, coming into 2025, what do you really want and what is your ultimate goal? Like, at the end of 2025,
what are the things you wanted to accomplish?
Where do you see yourself? And if you were to close your eyes right now, where do you see yourself? Like, in 2025, like, do you have, like, a perfect, like, your 2025 day? Like, do you see your 2025 future?
Well, more of what I think is, things happen so fast. It can happen so fast in a year. The beginning of 2024 for me was so different than the end of 2024.
100%. Same
so
for me.
The amount of things that you can do within a year is crazy. It's actually insane. Like, if I look at 2024 and I think of every single big thing that's happened, I think it's enough big things that could fill up my whole life up till 2024. Does that make sense? Like, I never in my life thought that the things that happened in 2024 would all happen within 1 year. Like,
it went by.
It's just crazy what happens in a year. So don't limit or think that it can only be one thing. And also, there's going to be things that you didn't plan for that happened.
Exactly. And I didn't even know that was going to happen.
Like, it's not part of the plan, and that's awesome.
And it was super unexpected, and it's like, it was safe for the both of us. Like, I was like, damn, I didn't really expect this to happen in 2024, but I am happy it did.
But that's like, to me, is like it's like the path that you're supposed to be on, and it's being laid out for you without you knowing, and you can be doing things unintentionally that will lay down the bricks for the path that you're supposed to be on. And so don't put a limit. Definitely set goals, and
it's more so have a vision.
A vision of what you want.
Even if you have a vision, like how me and Tata, we had like a vision coming into 2024, but a bunch of unexpected, amazing things happen in our lives. It's more so you have a vision, you have a set, like, idea, a plan, like a goal, like multiple goals. Don't limit yourself to one thing. You have an idea of what you're chasing, going after, a lot of other things could
They're
happen.
gonna they're gonna come out of it.
They're gonna come out of it
because of all the things that
It
you're
comes
putting
out of
in. They're gonna get this stuff. Yeah,
like one thing you could put in, and like 3 things can come out of that.
Yeah, and it could be completely like you could, let's say,
you never expect.
I wanted to make $1 million. How are you gonna make $1 million? There's millions of ways that you can make $1 million. So now it's kind of just, okay, I'm gonna put a little bit of time into this, and I'm gonna put a little bit of time into this, and one of those things is gonna work, and sometimes they're not going to work, but something else that you didn't even think about just worked. And it just, oh my God, magically happened that, somebody, like, I don't know, like, I'm a realtor and I just sold $1 million house or a bunch of $1 million houses, and now I have, $1 million somehow,
like, having, obviously we need to come into 2025. One thing I'm huge on is planning and writing down exactly and visioning. And that's something I will say, like, personal story for me. 2024, something that really helped me is believing, visioning, and manifesting on it. Like in 2024, and this is a practice I would really, really recommend for anybody coming into 2025. And I'm more so working on it right now. Like as we speak, I was working on it a few days ago, today, this next week, because it's the first week of 2025. But it's really visioning. Like, again, you could have a vision board of how you want and, like, how you see yourself living in 2025. Like, really living into it. Like, believing that you're already living that life. And a practice that I did, which I really recommend, is sitting down and writing, just don't stop writing. And pretend like it's a day that's in 2025 and it's a dream day for you. Like, I woke up here, you're writing out your present life. Exactly how you envision and imagine your dream present life in 2025.
I like that.
And keep writing. Like, don't stop. From the moment you wake up, be so specific. Like, I woke up in Laguna Beach in this day, like at this time, and I was watching the sunrise at this time. I put on my Uggs. I got up. I made my latte, this and that. And you write your full day from going, and then at 10 a.m. I woke up and I went to this gym and I did this and this and this, and it's your full day. You're writing out your dream car.
I'm gonna be like, my quads are exactly like Melania's.
you're literally your dream everything, and be super specific about it, and really feel, vision, and imagine your dream life. And that's one thing that I really love. It's just imagining and envisioning everything. So that's a practice I really recommend, is one, doing a vision board and really seeing how you want your life to be in 2025, and then also writing out your full dream day come 2025.
Yeah, because vision boards, people usually put pictures together, right? Like how they, the aesthetic of what they want their life to look like. And then I like that. But so there's times where I've written, you have diaries where you write about your day and things like that. And you, journal, and you look back, where I'll look back at some of the things that I've written. And
just like me.
It's crazy because I would be so proud of myself back, the person I was back then would be so proud of who I am today. I am proud of myself. But I think that I don't owe it only to myself. There's all the people that in my life that have come in my life and have left my life and have, just stopped. All of that is a big part of the journey and how I got to where I am. So it's I owe a lot of that to other people and other things in my life. It's not only me. I maybe did, 30%, and then the rest I would say is from other people, definitely motivating me, pushing me. And because I don't know, I'm just thinking if you didn't have some of the things that you have 100%. Or some of the people,
if you didn't have you wouldn't, this certain person, this certain action, this certain day, these little people, you wouldn't have this in life. If you didn't have this certain person or somebody
a guidance
to tell you this certain thing at that time, maybe you would never be here in this moment. Everything happens for a reason, and it is super important. Again, coming people that surround you and the people that push you and motivate you. But one thing is really just having this plan. You don't walk in blindless, or like what's the
Yeah,
word?
yeah. Don't
Like,
walk in with, don't walk
yeah,
in
like you
blind.
have a walking blind, just like more so have
No offense to the blind people.
like have this path that you want to go on. You don't want to like be floating, how we said.
Yeah.
That's the one thing is like that cuts out a lot of time for your life. And I feel like in 2023, I was really floating. And 2025, I really like got
Reeled
on my
in.
path.
Mm-hmm.
And you have to get on that path. You could be necessarily, right now, you could be floating. You don't know what you're doing. You don't know what's working for you.
Yeah.
Just, again, take these practices, write down exactly how you vision yourself, where you want to be. And then in that story, in that whole everything, your vision board, your story of writing down your dream days, then you can get into those actions that you can be taking or how to achieve that dream day.
Absolutely.
How you can achieve that dream goal. But number 2, I would say, is of course just
the plan.
the plan.
The plan. How you
We love the
see
plan.
yourself, the vision, the plan. And yeah, I think writing it down is like huge. All right, so number 3 is consistency. Being consistent is very important. None of the things that have been good in my life, I'm sure Melania's life, would have been as good if we were not consistent about. For instance, I have a little example that in 2024, I was working 9 to 5, and I also every day would get home, go to the gym, and then I would go live streaming. I was doing live streaming on TikTok, and I started off with like about 6 people that would watch. Then it got to 7, and then I was just doing it for fun in the beginning, just for fun, right? Let me try it, see how it is, whatever.
Let me see how it goes.
I
have time.
I have a little bit of time here.
Yeah.
So I'm just messing around, going live every now and then. Then I decided, okay, you know what? I'm going to start taking it more seriously. I want to have a schedule. I want to have the consistent schedule, because when you're doing something, especially when it comes to like entertainment at all in any purpose, you have to think of it like somebody's watching a TV show. They know the time that their TV show is going to be on. They know what they want to see, and they know when they want to see it. So it's like if it's available to them at this exact time and they know that you're going to be there. It's expected. And they know, okay, Tata's going to be on at this time. So I created a schedule and I started doing it every single day, the same time. I showed up every day, same time, like followed my schedule, and I grew so much. That was a huge part of how the success and this like getting to this point in my life, how it started was because I made my schedule and I stuck to it, and I showed up every single day. And I grew and grew. Little by little, I grew. And I started having like 100 people in my lives, 120 people. And I came up with fun things to do. And yes, I did. I started doing different things. But overall, the one thing that remained consistent was me showing up every day and being consistent.
And let me tell you how true this is, because I would be scrolling on my phone 1 a.m., and this girl showed up every single night.
Like
every time, I'm sitting there 1 a.m. I'm like, this girl does not disappoint. She shows up every night on live stream, like no matter what the circumstance. And she would go on until like 4 a.m.
Yeah,
like she stayed consistent. It was every day, no matter what. She showed up, and like that was one thing that I watched her grow, and I was like, she never misses a day. Like, it was never a day. Like, it was either at that time, even if she showed up for like 15 minutes, it's you show up. And it's like, it doesn't, even so, we could bring an example of like coming into the gym. Again, 2025, a lot of people were going into fitness goals out of everything. And it's being consistent. Even if it's showing up to the gym. Yeah. Just even getting there. Just getting there. Just driving there. Just showing up. You made it to the gym. And if you didn't even do anything, you walked on the treadmill for 5 minutes, whatever, but you showed up every single day. You have to build that habit, showing up every single day, being consistent. Nothing happens from doing something once, 3 times, 4 times. It happens after 500 times, maybe 1,000 times or 200 times, depending what you're doing. Every single person is different too. It could happen to Tata on number 367.
It could have still not it could still have not happened to this point. Like I could this is, and I will say I'm not doing live streaming every single day anymore, but I try to still go on. I want to change that. I want to go back into it this year. But I would say it could have not even gotten to it absolutely did not get to the max point that it could have, because there is no limit to where it could have gone. I just think that you can't put a limit, but you also have to be very consistent, because you really don't know when it's going to happen. Exactly. You know that if you put the work in, it will happen. It will. Eventually, you just don't know when. And that's why I say no one knows the secret to success, because we don't know when the success is going to happen.
The secret to success is showing up and being consistent.
Oh yeah, okay. So I will say we know the secret. The secret is that,
but it's more necessarily
we don't know when the success will happen.
Yes,
you don't know.
And that's one thing. Like, consistency is probably one of the number one pieces of advice that I could give to anybody, and this goes for anything in life. This consistency is the key to anything in life. You have to be consistent no matter what. Showing up every single day. For example, my content creation and doing social media, for the longest time, it was just declining. Not even
stagnant.
It was empty, quiet, like crickets. Like, nobody was on that thing. Like, there was nothing. But I showed up every single day posting, and I knew deep down I had to be consistent. And for me, it's like I post every single day, sometimes 5 times a day, sometimes 3 times a day. But it's every single day I show up and I have to post. And I didn't, trust me, that little voice in my head was just telling me I just give up. I've been going out, posting every single day for so long, and nothing is happening. Nothing's going on. But with being consistent, it did happen. There was a time it broke through. You're gonna have your breakthrough. I promise you, if you stay consistent and you show up every single day, no matter what the circumstance, on the slow days, on the good days, on the bad days, your breakthrough is there. Yep. You're almost there. Keep pushing through. You have that feeling deep down. I promise you, you're gonna have your breakthrough. 2025 could be your year of your breakthrough. 2024 could have been your breakthrough. For me, 2024 was really my breakthrough, and I feel like 2025... For me now, it's like if I broke through in 2024, and I'm more so how we were saying, the first half of my year, of 2024 was very different from the end.
Yeah.
Is right now, it's more so I know exactly what I have to be doing.
Yeah.
I'm on that path. I've already broken through, and now it's just go.
I think 2024 was a year of hope. Hope, because it made it okay, I can do these things, and they really will work.
That. And I really like that.
It was
that's very
I genuinely found out that in 2024 I can do what I enjoy doing and make a living off of it. And that's one thing, is when people tell you that you don't work a day in your life when you enjoy what you do, it's true. And I am 27 years old. It took me doing 9 to 5 for a long time. I've been working, and I'm not saying that working a 9 to 5 is bad, because working a 9 to 5 for me has been great up to this point. I learned a lot from doing 9 to 5. I've learned a lot from working jobs. And when I was in college, I did 2 years in college, and I was also working 2 jobs at that time as well. So I've always done a lot of things and tried to make things work and see what I like and see what I don't like and learn what I can do. And exactly, there's so much that I did and had to, I wouldn't even say fail in, because none of it was a failure to me. It was just I tried it and it didn't work, or I didn't like it.
That's what led Tata to be where she is now. It's part of her story. All these the 9 to 5 story, it's led her to where she is now. And maybe even without that, you wouldn't even be here.
Exactly.
Without those experiences.
Yeah.
So that's the beauty of it. And it's just staying super consistent with anything you are in life, no matter what goal you have, no matter what you have to do. This fits and works for everybody, is staying consistent. And then even more importantly, going into number 4, our final topic and strategy, which comes with staying consistent, is more importantly being consistent with good habits. It's your habits and the actions that you take daily. What are you consistent with? Are you consistent with going out every single Friday and getting plastered? Or are you consistent with waking up Friday at 5 a.m. and doing X, Y, and Z? Are you consistent with hanging out with that friend group that you said that you would stop hanging out with? Or are you consistent with showing up every single day and learning that new skill, that new hobby, or doing this for yourself, for your social media, for anything that you have planned? What are you consistent with? What habits are you building?
Really
a consistent habit for me and Tata is like eating clean.
Yeah.
Like for us, like that became it became such a habit and consistent that
it's just good.
It's not a diet. It's not a diet. That's
I don't know why people think that it's a diet anyways to start. It's like we could go into that for a whole topic. We could definitely
go into that
people
next video.
Talking about how healthy food is a diet is crazy, but
for us, like, it's a habit that became our lifestyle.
Yeah.
And again, it's more so your habits and your lifestyle. It becomes your identity.
Mm-hmm.
And like, we don't feel like it's not a struggle or a hassle for us to be eating clean or anything.
Yeah.
It's our identity, and we're so used to having. Like, it's so consistent. It's like our everyday.
Yeah.
We don't see, like, it would be odd for us to be having something different other than like clean food, for example.
I definitely think the holidays definitely screwed me up a little bit on that. But I was in North Dakota. I was far. I wasn't home. I have all the excuses. We always have the excuses, guys. We always have the excuses, and we can come up with millions and millions of excuses, and it's okay. It's okay to you're not going to be perfect in every single thing you do. It's
okay to get out of it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Like, I'll eat a cookie. You guys, like, it's not
I'll
crazy.
eat a few more than
I'll eat. If you want us to eat, we'll eat like crazy. But it's more picking and choosing the things that are going to be good and better for your life overall. And focus on the long term. Like, is this going to be good for me over time? Is this going to be good for me over time? Is going to the gym, what's going to the gym every day going to do? Mm-hmm. It's only going to make you stronger. It's only going to make you have a stronger mentality. Like, I didn't start going to the gym to become like a bodybuilder. And a lot of people always like, oh, but you're going to look super manly or muscular and whatever. No, I don't look super manly.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think. I don't know what you guys think, but I don't think I look super manly. The biggest thing that the gym has done for me was strengthen my mentality. Mm-hmm. Like, the way I thought and a lot of the negative things started leaving. Like, I was not going to the gym the way that I go to the gym now in 2020. I want to say 2019, maybe 2020. The habits that I had were not good habits. And so they didn't put me in the right spot and they weren't leading me in the right direction. Whereas in 2024, or 2023, I started focusing on going to the gym and being more consistent in the gym. And then in 2024, I was already like doing that every single day and then eating cleaner, and all of that helped with my mentality in putting me in a good spot to be more positive. And then your habits
become a huge reflection on who you are. If you have bad habits, it's going to exactly show. Like, I had not the best habits 2022, 2024, or 2022, 2023. It really showed my bad habits. But 2023, 2024, my habits that I've taken daily, every single day, are amazing, and my mindset and everything has made a huge shift. So your habits really build your identity and who you become. Like, what you do every single day is who you become. Yeah. And that's like, it is so important to cling on to these good habits and say it trust me, it could be hard. It is hard to like start building those habits, and it's hard to stay consistent. But once you have that little breakthrough, like how we were saying, it could be hard for you to be eating healthy the first 7 days. But after like a month, it becomes your everyday.
Yeah.
And you don't even feel like you're doing anything that's like different. It would be like odd for you to be eating like a different sort of meal. Like, so it's like something that you become so consistent with having these good habits that it builds who you are. And you have to deep down believe like these actions that you're taking, it is going to create like your dream person, the dream version of yourself of who you are, more so becoming.
Yeah. It just becomes natural to you.
Exactly.
It's like you do it in your sleep.
Exactly. So it's more so for me, 2025, as in like, I would say eliminate distractions, stay super consistent, and build great habits.
And have a good plan.
And have just like a set plan.
Or a vision. Just a vision. I would say a vision. More so than a plan. Have a vision of what you want your life to look like.
Because again, your plan, it
can change.
It changes.
Like
for me, like I could write my plan, my goals that I had, and yeah, like most of them they aligned with it, but like a couple of them they were a little off plan, but that's okay because that's the journey, and that's like the whole path of it is like the unexpected, and it's the journey and the path that I fall in love with it. And it's like a bunch of unexpected things that happened, which were great. Some weren't great, some were great. But that's like, you could plan most of it, but have a vision, have an idea, and go after it, and have like, know what you want.
Also, another little tidbit is that things that you think and your beliefs and those will all change over time. Things that I thought were good back when I was, 20 are not the same as now when I'm 27. That's why I'm saying, Mel, you're on the early path because a lot of the things that I believed or thought were cool or good or da-da-da and this and that are not cool anymore to me.
Your mindset shifts. Like everything that you think is like cool then. Even for me being like 18, there are certain things like you could look back at like something you posted 1 year ago, 2 years ago, and you're like, that is the cringiest thing I've ever seen in my life. What was I thinking? What was I wearing?
It's going to change.
But like, it changes. And even the things that we do now, I'm going to look back 2 years from now, I'm going to say, what was I doing?
But like, it's also because a lot of things are like trends.
A lot of things change.
They're societal trends and like, oh, it's cool in the time, and then you look back and you're like, why was that cool?
Exactly.
Why
we're
was
constantly growing, we're constantly adapting things. Mindsets are constantly changing. You're always gonna look back and it's like, but that's okay. Like
that's part of that's part of the journey. That's
of
the
where
fun
you
stuff.
are, like just right now. Like right now we're doing this. We're gonna make 2025 absolutely amazing. I think 2024 was like, words can't describe how amazing and thankful and grateful I am where 2024 has brought me and Tata and where we were. And I just know coming 2025 is like, I just get so excited, like speaking about 2025 and me like imagining my vision for 2025. And as I was writing like my goals, my plans, my dreams for 2025, like I get super excited for it because I just know that it is going to come true.
It is.
If you truly believe deep down, you believe deep down this is going to work out for you, this is going to work, I promise you it will. Just show up every day, stay consistent, and I think 2025 is going to be an even better year.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. 2025 is going to be one of the best years yet. I mean,
100% agree.
I only pray that everyone's 2025 is their best year. And then 2026, even better than that. And then 2027, even better than that. And I just hope and pray that everybody finds success, but more than that, find happiness and just fill your life with love and positivity. Because all of that will surround you and come back.
To where you are in the end.
Yep.
Like your environment, your positivity, like that's one thing. It's a huge thing is surrounding like your mind, what you speak to yourself is, I think that's one thing that I think that could be like our advice of the day.
Yeah.
Is more so like
the words you speak are the house you live in.
I think that's it for today. Yeah. Like the
motivational quote of the day.
How do we word that?
How'd
you say it?
The words you speak are the house you live in.
Yes.
So what you what you say to yourself and what you say out to other people become the house that you live in. That is
shows within.
going to show,
Shows within you, and you just have to speak positivity, think positivity, no matter what you're going through, just continue believing it, continue showing up, and it'll play out in your life. You'll see it play out. Like if you start speaking positivity, like positive words to yourself, around you, like in positive situations, you start seeing the good instead of the bad, it'll come back to you.
Oh, I have one more quote that can go with that is, okay, it's you're never in the wrong place. You're just with the wrong mindset. So you I
just thought about
it's the way that you perceive the things that are happening around you.
How do you see it?
Do you look at everything that happens negative in your life and take it as a negative? Or do you take that and turn it into something that can become positive?
Like a learning experience. Like the whole, like things could be, you could lose your job, lose this, lose that relationship, lose that friendship. Do you take it in a negative way as in like, oh, I'm all by myself? Or do you take it in a learning experience and you learn from it and you grow from it? I love that.
Yeah.
That's an amazing thing, especially wrapping up 2024. That's an awesome thing. A bunch of lost things, a bunch of like negative things we think could have happened were new beginnings and have set us even like more forward, and like you have to see the good in it. Like
exactly, because negative things are always going to happen.
Yeah.
There's always going to be bad things and
how,
negative things that happen. Exactly. How you perceive it, how you take it, what you turn it into is how you get out of it. You don't want to be a victim to everything for the rest of your life. If you are a victim to this life, you are never going to be better, and you are never going to get better. You are never going to be able to reach the limits or reach the heights that you would want to reach, because you are stopping yourself from being the best version of you. And that's what I have to say. And that's my take.
And that is a wrap. Thank you, guys.
Guys, make sure you follow us.
Yeah. We're still new to the podcast talk.
Yeah.
Make sure you
subscribe.
Yes.
Like, share, comment. If you guys have any topics that you guys want us to talk about next time,
let us know.
We're super
excited for 2025. It's going to be a great year. I know it's going to be a great year for you guys. So let's get it started.
We'll see you next time. Episode 2 out.